Welcome to the Dream Plan Start Grow Show, where the goal is to provide you tips and tools to create and execute your business plan for success. Hi, it's Allison Turner from Dream Plan Start Grow. I want to wish you a healthy and happy new year. At the end of each of my interviews with other entrepreneurs, I always ask one question. And that question is, if you were going to provide someone who wants to start a business one tip that really either helped your journey or maybe you learned it later in the journey, what would that be? Following this, here are some highlights from last year answering that question. Enjoy. What would be one thing that you would share with people that maybe is like maybe been your biggest lesson? And it could be something you talked about already or just something that like if someone wanted to start any kind of company.
Okay. What I would say is it's a combination of a couple things. I'm a firm believer that you should know how to put together a business plan, right? And that's where a lot of people stop because they're just intimidated by that process in itself, right? But what a lot of people don't realize is there are so many resources, that are out there for free.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, just locally.
YouTube, SBA,
Yeah.
SBDC. Yeah.
So a bunch of different ways, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, how are you best at learning? Are you a talker to somebody? Are you listening to a podcast? Are you reading a kind of book?
Visual, yeah.
Figure out how you like to take in information.
If there was one thing that you would share to someone who wanted to start a business, and it doesn't have to be photography or speaker or anything like that, but just in general, they wanted to start a business that either maybe you knew starting out that really helped you, and maybe some people don't know, or maybe you didn't know and you realized a little ways into the business, like, oh, I wish I'd known that like a year earlier, I would have excelled a little faster. What would that be?
Well, there are a couple things that come to mind. First of all, get a mentor. Get a mentor who has been where you want to go. So many times we listen to family members who have not done, can't even imagine some of the things that we are trying to do. And we listen to them. Like, why? So get a mentor. Listen to them. Take what they're telling you and make it work for yourself. And believe in yourself. You know, God gave you the vision. He did not give it to everybody else. It was not a conference call. And my son told me that the other day. He said, Mom, God gave you your vision. It was not a conference call between, you and your friends. So, follow your heart. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. And I would say, do it. I wish I had had the confidence to do what I'm doing now 10 or 15 years ago. I really do. I wish I had just gone for it.
They say you never sell a person on your product, you sell a person on you and your belief, and your belief in it. And so you have to have that. It's fundamental. All the great companies in the world have that. They all believe their product's the most amazing product for society, whatever it is. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's very true.
And as while we're talking, if we're going to talk about some of like the fundamentals for me, like that I feel like are really critical these days, is conscious business and how to do business in a way that's been done in a new way. That there is opportunity for win-wins in business. There's opportunities for balanced business, that businesses that do the right thing by their staff, by their community, by their stakeholders. And when I say stakeholders, it's not just shareholders, it's every stakeholder. And when you're really thoughtful about the way you do things and try to do the least amount of harm, the most amount of good, and balance it all out, that your companies actually do better. conscious businesses, now we know when you look at them, outperform financially. Other businesses 10-1. So you're going to win.
Really?
No matter what, you win. So why not do it the right way? So I'm such a proponent in conscious business. And conscious business really means being thoughtful,
Right.
being mission-based, being thoughtful, doing the most amount of good you can, not being perfect, but wherever you can, continuously improving to do the best that you can by everyone around you.
So my last question for you is, if you could provide like one tip to someone that was getting into business for themselves. So it could be event planning, it could be something completely different, like that maybe you learned the hard way when you started your company. Like, what would that be?
One tip. One? One.
Narrow it down.
I know. I should have prepared for that question. One tip. I think well, I mean, obviously being brave is a big piece of it. But I think honestly, start from the beginning as who you want to be, right? As a brand or as a company. So don't start servicing, like, let's say you build pools, okay? You want to build luxury pools or something of that nature, okay? Don't start by building koi ponds in someone's backyard. Start by building the pool, the luxury pool. You know what I mean? Because I think that was where I really held myself back a lot. And some of it was fear.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's the same amount of work to build and get the client and to build the koi pond that it is to do. Yeah, sometimes, a lot of times it's more work to do the big luxury pool, or
Right.
or or vice versa. If you want to do
Koi
ponds, like epic koi ponds or whatever, and then don't start in pools. Like, start with where you want to be, and start with where, like, don't start with where you are when you're out into the world. So, like, just project that you are, this is who I am, this is what I do, and go from there.
So if you could say one tip that has been like crucial for you when you started that you would share, so not necessarily just in real estate per se, but just in general from an entrepreneurial perspective of what was critical for you when you started, like, what would that be?
Okay, hold that. Jack? Stand height.
Oh, shoot. It's a bass.
It looks like a guitar to me. So, we don't need to plug it in. So we play the bass. We kind of do it like that. Yeah?
Just don't hit me in the head.
Don't hit the host in the head. I probably need a guitar. But I will tell you, if I could put this to music, Jack, you're better at this than I am. If this were a song, this would be the chorus. Wait. Exercise your risk tolerance like a muscle. Eventually, it will become stronger and able to withstand greater pressure. If I had taken that advice earlier, I'm happy I did it when I did. But my risk tolerance, it's like going to the gym. It's stronger. I still feel the fear. Actually feeling fear makes me feel alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that if you're not feeling fear, you're probably going down the most stagnant path you could choose for your life. So exercise your risk tolerance like a muscle. Eventually it will become stronger and able to withstand greater pressure. Would be our song for the day.
You were going to give one tip to someone that maybe wanted to start a business that you've learned along the way, maybe you had early success with, or maybe you didn't have early success and you kind of realized that, hey, I need this. What would that tip be?
First thing, know what it is you want to do. Don't just go into something because, you want to start your own business. Find something you have a passion for, because you're going to work harder than you will at any other job. If you have your own business and you want it to be successful, you will work harder, at least in the beginning, than you will working for someone else. So you better have a passion for it. because you're not going to be getting paid for it in the very beginning, most likely. So you need something that will keep you going so that you can get to the point of getting paid for it. And when you can get paid for doing what it is you really like doing, it's so much better than going to a job and working for someone else doing what they want you to do to make their life better. So they may pay you something to make their life better, but it's about them. Whereas if it's your own business, it's about you. So make sure you have a passion for it. And then very, very important, find a mentor, somebody that's done it before, somebody that's, and not just somebody, various mentors. Get advice from anyone that's been where you are. It may be a different business, but it's still a business concept. And listen to them. And
Find the right mentor, though.
don't try to act like the smartest person in the room. Ask questions. Go in there and allow yourself to be the naive person, naive kid, whatever it is, and ask questions. And don't go and talk to a group like you're the greatest, like, yes, I can do this, I can do that. Go there and ask questions and find a group of people that know more than you do and learn from them so you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
So if there was one thing you could tell someone that wanted to start a business, doesn't matter what kind of business, could be something like you're doing, could be, a business like mine, whatever, that either you learned along the way or maybe you knew going in that's really helped you build your business, what would that be?
Do it, don't stop, ask for help, and don't stop. But do it. You just have to do it. I was at a party just recently and talking to a friend who had a great business idea, and she's modeled it even, and she could do it amazingly well, but there's more reasons that, it's easier to come up with reasons to not do it. But the reality is that we live in an economy that is shifting to support entrepreneurship more than ever. Mm-hmm. And the flexibility that we would like in our lifestyles, that certainly COVID opened everybody up to the possibilities of, being able to be the master of your schedule. Right. Freedom equals happiness in a lot of ways, right? We can create the environment and the world, our lifestyle, right, to meet our all of our needs. So I would say do it, and then design it in a way that's going to work for you.
So as we wrap up, is there one tip you would give someone if they wanted to start out in real estate? Is there one, something that you learned maybe a little bit later in your career, or something that you would say, if there's anything you could do now, as you start?
Yeah. Well, with anything, but real estate, one, be yourself. You don't have to be someone you see on TV. You don't have to try to be something you're not. If you saw me how I started and then where I'm at when I realized who I was, and to be more myself is so important. So be yourself. That's the most important thing. And just try your best and be a good person. Really, there's people out there that need your services, no matter what it is in life, or it's a realtor or anything. There's people that need good people to do services for them, and if you show that you're a good person and you be yourself, they'll find you. That's probably the biggest thing, just being a good person and be yourself. Don't fake it. I know they say fake it till you make it. You can kind of, but you don't have to. You don't, just be yourself.
If there was one thing if someone said, okay, I want to go out on my own to do something, whatever that is, and, or maybe they got laid off from a job and they're like, oh crap, what do I do now? If there was one thing you could recommend to somebody that was just starting out, what would that be?
Just starting out, just follow your gut. There's going to be a lot of people with opinions on what you should do or how you should do it, but you know what you're capable of, and you know what your heart is telling you. And if you have a little voice in your head that's not the inner critic, that's kind of like this yearning, I've always wanted to do this, perfect world, what would I do? Just do it. Just do it. Even if you don't know how to do it, just take a chance and follow your gut. Your gut will always tell you if this is right or if it's wrong. Just do it.
No, that's great advice, because I think many people figure out where the money is and they follow that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't, like we talked about earlier, they don't have the passion behind what they're doing.
Yeah.
So you definitely need to do some research on whatever industry you're going in, just to see what, the
Yeah.
paths are, and be open to, I find in business, you're always zigzagging as opposed to there's no real straight line.
There is not.
So
And
anyone
if
that tells
somebody
you
is
that,
telling you that there is,
yeah, forget it.
there is not. And maybe there's paths that are a little more worn and easier to follow, but they're not going to be, there's no straight highway.
No.
And but the important thing is that you get moving in the direction,
Yeah,
because
that's the most
staying
important thing, action.
still under a tree writing out your plan, while it is important, the shade of a tree is sometimes so comforting that you fall asleep underneath of it.
Hey everyone, Allison Turner here again. Thanks for watching today. I really appreciate it. And for anyone who is thinking about starting a business, just start. Follow your passion, follow your goals, follow your beliefs, and really make life count. And if you need help, go to dreamplanstartgrow.com. I do offer a complimentary consultation to help get you started, or if you're already in business, to help propel you to that next level. Thank you again, and have a great day, and I will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to the Dream Plan Start Grow podcast with Allison Turner. If you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. Join the Dream Plan Start Grow community by following us on Facebook or Instagram at Dream Plan Start Grow. See you in the next episode.